You clicked on this video because you need to take control of your life. And let me tell you something. I relate to you way more than you probably realize. There have been various times throughout my YouTube journey and really my life as a whole where I lost control of my life. I let things slip away from me and I watched as everything that I built crumbled, slowly but surely. So I know the feeling of feeling like you need to just take control wherever you can, and I'm here to tell you that you can do that. I am the proof. There have been various times in my life where I have turned my L's into W's, where I've alchemized my losses into lessons. And I want to explain how to go about doing that. Now, the first thing that you need to do in order to get your life together, in order to take control of your life, is to take self-inventory. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to take self-inventory? Taking self-inventory is exactly what it sounds like. It's you analyzing all of the reasons, the personal reasons why you are where you are. You see, a lot of you guys, you end up in these situations, these undesirable circumstances, because you're not willing to take accountability for your life. You are diverting the accountability to somebody else. But you have to understand that you are in complete control of your life because you are in complete control of yourself. You see, external factors may be beyond your control. They may be within your realm of influence, but oftentimes they're out of your realm of control. But you, on the other hand, the way that you perceive yourself and how well you know yourself, your relationship with yourself, that is entirely in your control. And that is something that only you can take accountability for, especially now that you know that, now that you have the information. So how do you go about doing this self-inventory? Well, the first thing that you need to do is take some time to be alone. A lot of you guys, you're not doing the self-inventory because you're not taking the time to be alone and you don't know who you are. They say that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. But what happens if you spend the most time alone? You become who you came here to be. You become your authentic self. You step into your authenticity because you no longer have other personalities, especially the stronger personality types, to dilute your personality, right? So being alone, that is a skill, but it's also a necessity for doing this self-inventory. Okay, this is oftentimes a process of solitude, a season of solitude even. You need to dedicate some time to being alone every single day. I understand some of you may have external obligations which may be beyond your control. Maybe you have children or younger siblings to take care of. Maybe you have work obligations. I understand that. Not everybody can just live a hermit lifestyle like I do, living in a car and just living the way that I live in general. But do the best that you can with what you have. Even when I lived with my parents, and even when I worked at H&M, worked at all these different service industry jobs where I was interacting with hundreds of people a day, I still created time to be alone. Even if that meant going the long way home, where I would just drive a few miles out of my way to spend more time alone in the car, to do some introspection. Those conversations that you have with yourself are absolutely critical to you regaining that control over your life. So spend some time alone and also sit there and list out all of your deficiencies. And I'm not talking about your physical deficiencies. Oh, I wish that my butt was bigger. I wish that my biceps were bigger. No, I'm talking about the character deficiencies. What character deficiencies are preventing you from progressing in your life, right? And how do you go about figuring out these character deficiencies? It's simple. You look at your life. You look at your external reality and perceive it as a reflection of your internal reality. Let's say, for example, you struggle with relationships. You struggle to keep people interested in you. Well, perhaps there's a part of you that struggles to stay interested in yourself, and that's why you keep seeking out these relationships when you know that you need to be spending time by yourself. Okay, it goes right back to that season of solitude. Or let's say, for example, you struggle with finances. This is something that I struggled with for pretty much the entirety of my life. I couldn't hold on to money. And I realize now, after doing some self-reflection, some self-inventory, that I struggle to hold on to money because I have a fear of loss. A lot of times, your fear of a certain outcome will make that outcome inevitable. It forces you subconsciously to bring that outcome into fruition, to self-sabotage, or really not even self-sabotage, to manifest to successfully manifest the outcome that you subconsciously desire. When you decide that you are afraid of a certain outcome, you are telling your subconscious mind that that's what you want, because you are focusing on that outcome. If you focus on that outcome, that's what you're going to get. Energy flows where attention goes. So take some time to retrace your steps and to figure out what character flaws got you into this position. In some cases, you may even want to go and ask a few trusted individuals. Granted, I would be very, very careful with this because different people will have different perceptions of you, but maybe ask a few trusted individuals who know you the most to tell you what you can work on from a personality standpoint. And then once you figure out your character flaws, you can create a routine, okay? You can establish routines that help you reverse these character flaws. Let's say, for example, you struggle with consistency, with sticking to something. Let's say you have this grand business plan, but you find yourself being intimidated by the grandiosity of that business plan. And so you can't be consistent in actually following the steps to see this business plan into fruition. Well, start smaller. Okay, instead of trying to make $100 million by the time you turn 30 years old, maybe start off with something more manageable, like a workout routine or a skincare routine. And that brings me to Tiege Hanley, the sponsor of today's video.
You've heard me talk about them before, and you're going to keep hearing me talk about them because I know the positive impact their products will have on your life. Seriously, I still don't think some of you believe me when I tell you just how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skin uncomplicated. They provide you with all of the products you need and none of the products that you don't need. I personally recommend that you start with their level 1 skincare system, which comes with all of the basics. A daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. Oh, and to make it dead simple for guys like us, they provide this instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much of each product to use, and in what order to use each product. It definitely comes in clutch. Skincare wasn't always something I took seriously, but now that I have, I wish I would have started sooner. But you don't just have to take my word for it, because they have over 5,000 5-star reviews from customers all around the globe. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, access to exclusive monthly deals, the ability to pause or cancel your subscription at any time, and free US shipping.
And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers, which is you guys, an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description or the pinned comment of this video and get 30% off of your first box and a free gift. Okay, seriously, that's an amazing deal. Click the link down below and get started today. Now, back to the video. Now, like I said, routines are absolutely critical to undoing these character deficiencies that you may have, which are preventing you from taking control of your life and really manifesting the life that you truly want deep down, right? Because like I said, energy flows where attention goes. So when you start to pay more attention to yourself and these more manageable aspects of your life, you'll find that the journey of 1,000 miles is really composed of a bunch of individual steps. Okay, a lot of times we psych ourselves out with these, like I said, grand ideas that we may have, but in reality, these grand ideas aren't as grand as they may seem as long as we can break them down into manageable, digestible segments for ourselves, right? And like I said, the best way to go about doing this is by developing a routine which all but ensures that we achieve our goals. So, like I said, this could be a workout routine. Let's say, for example, if you want to be more consistent in the gym, you want to be a bodybuilder, a power lifter, you want to be a professional athlete, whatever it may be. Well, you need to integrate that into your day-to-day routine. And at times it may seem mundane, at times you may even need to switch it up or enhance it in some way to keep yourself mentally engaged. But you need to have the routine in place nevertheless. You see, a big part of the reason why I got to where I am on YouTube, where I was able to reach 150,000 subscribers, is because I developed a routine that revolved around YouTube. I simply started filming videos pretty much every single day for the better part of 2 or 3 years. And it got me to this point. And if you do the same thing, you could get even further than me if you want to be a content creator. Or let's say, for example, you want to be an author, such as myself. Well, I've made it a habit to write every day, if possible. I never force myself to write, but after those first few days, after I get over that initial writer's block, I generate momentum, because that's what routines do. They help you generate momentum. Having a skincare routine, for example, will help you generate momentum in all other aspects of your life. Because even if you're not necessarily trying to be a model or something like that, having that consistency and that discipline will carry over to other areas of your life. And I'm speaking from experience. There are a few things that I have consistently done for a few years, no matter what my mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical state has been. And that is the reason why I have the discipline that I have right now. To, for example, film this video right now when I don't necessarily have to, or to write poems when I don't necessarily have to go to the gym when I don't have to do all of these other things that I don't need to do, that I do not need to do. Okay, the reason why I'm able to do these things is because I have developed that discipline by, for one, having a skincare routine, two, having a stretching routine, and three, having a meditation routine. These are the 3 habits that I've personally stuck to for the better part of these past few years, as well as, like I said, YouTube and or writing. And by integrating these things into my routine on a consistent basis, I've been able to develop a level of discipline which will carry over to any other avenue of life that I want to pursue. Right? So develop that discipline by creating a routine. Take control of what you can take control of. Anybody can control their skincare routine. Anybody can control if they work out every day. Anybody can control if they meditate every day. These are the things that you do have control over. You don't have control over that person T-boning your car at the intersection and you not being able to pay the deductible. You may not have control over that, but you do have control over something. You have control over yourself. And if you have control over yourself, you have control over your reality. Now, with that being said, you also need to know when to humble yourself. You need to know when to humble yourself and to surrender control to a higher power. Now, I'm not here to tell you what that higher power should be to you. That is for you to decide. That is entirely subjective. But you have to understand that there is something beyond you, beyond this physical body. Because when this physical body dies, no energy is lost. Because per science, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred or transformed. So what does that mean? That means that there is some type of energetic being which permeates all of us, that enables us to continue living beyond our bodies, even when our bodies reintegrate with the earth. When our bodies reintegrate with the earth, our souls reintegrate with that collective consciousness, with that source energy. Whatever that is to you, I'm not even going to name any names in this video. But whatever that may be to you, you have to know how to and be willing to surrender to that source energy. But how do you go about surrendering? Well, it's simple. You follow your intuition. You stop following your ego. You have to be willing to humble yourself. You have to be willing to humble yourself. I wrote a poem this morning, actually, in which I said, "Hallowed be the man who hones his humility." Hallowed be the man who hones his humility. You have to be willing to hone your humility as if it were a skill in and of itself. And that is why, if you look in the back of my car, you can see that I have everything that I own. Everything that I own is in this car right now. Because I'm in Arizona right now, heading back to Dallas, Texas to go be with my parents for a few months. Because I know that that's the best thing for me and my future. That's not to say that I'm done traveling or that I'm going to live with my parents forever, but I know that given my circumstances right now, which I won't necessarily expound upon, but given my circumstances, I need that support system. And by understanding that, by taking that first step, which believe me, for me, that is very, very difficult for me to do. Every part of my ego wants to turn around and drive back to LA, or drive to New York, or drive anywhere except for Dallas, Texas. But I know that that's the best for my spiritual development. That is what ego death is. Letting go of the need to be right. Letting go of my pride. And prioritizing my peace. I know that that is a decision in which I am prioritizing my peace. Is it easy for me to come on this camera and tell you guys that I'm moving back in with my parents, especially after all of the shit that I was talking for the past few months? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It makes me look like a hypocrite. It makes me look like maybe I'm mentally weak. I don't know. Different people will have different perceptions. And these are just sentiments that I deal with in my internal dialogue. Nevertheless, I'm still going to do it because I know it's the best for me. I'm going to take 2 steps back to take 10 steps forward. And that's that. But I'm only able to do that because I'm willing to seize control, to relinquish my control, and surrender to this higher power. Control what I can control. I can control whether or not I choose to go back to that loving environment, which seemingly wants me to come back more than I even want to go back. Okay, my parents have been pressing me to come back home pretty much since I moved out, damn near since before I even moved out into the apartment. So for me to be able to do that, that's me expanding. That's me evolving in the sense that even though it may seem like regression from the outside looking in, for me, that is internal evolution. I am evolving in the sense that I am able to humble myself. I'm able to humble myself and do what I know is best for me and my future so that I can build myself up and not only be the best version of myself for me and for my brand, whatever that may entail, be it YouTube or writing or anything else in between, but also for my relationship, being the best version of myself for my relationship so that me and my girlfriend can build. I know that I don't want to be one of those struggling couples. I just told my girlfriend that a few days ago. I don't want us to be one of those struggling couples. I know that those are romanticized quite frequently, but I don't want to be one of those struggling couples. I want us to be up. And when I say up, that doesn't necessarily mean rich, but that means we're in a good mental, emotional, physical, and financial state. We have all bases covered, and we understand that these bases are not mutually exclusive. And with that understanding, I'm able to find the willpower to let go of my willpower and humble myself and surrender. You guys need to understand the difference between letting go and giving up. Giving up means that you know with 100% certainty that your goals, that your vision will not come into fruition. To let go is to be 100% certain that your goals and your vision will come into fruition. Therefore, you no longer need to control it because you know that it's already inevitable. All you need to do is follow the script.